Well, it's really smoky out here. That is not clouds behind me. Okay guys, seriously tough times, and my heart goes out to everybody who's struggling from these fires that we're having here in Oregon, Washington, and California. I just wanted to touch on what these wildfires do for ponds. The other morning I did come out here and I saw that I had some fish that weren't doing very well. Basically, the white on my fish was quite pink. I checked my pHs and such and they weren't horrible, but what I do want to talk about is when we have these wildfires, what the ash does to the water. Ash has some pretty nasty chemicals. Could be traces of lead, copper, zinc, things like that can be in ash. Ash in ponds is very bad for fish. What it can do is it can clog the surface of fish gills and cause respiratory failure in fish. So when I came out the other day, I had turned my pumps off because I was trying to save water because they were using so much water in the area to fight the fires. And I used the pond water to water the plants in my yard, and then it fills up with the city water. I turned off the city water so it didn't autofill, but then I did not turn off this water and I was still watering plants with it. The water levels got very low. I didn't have the pumps running, so the filters weren't running, and I thought it'd be okay for a day or two with just bubblers in the pond. But the next morning coming out, I saw that fish were very unhealthy. The fish are still not back to normal, and I've been running this now for another day. I can tell because when I feed the fish, they are not instantly coming to eat. They are actually hiding right now, and they would normally be hanging out next to me looking for food. So definitely not back to normal. Fixing this problem is pretty easy though. It's really just doing water changes to your pond. Now if you've got a smaller pond, it's really easy to take care of this by just putting a tarp over the top of the pond, stretching it over, and then staking it into the ground. If you've got a larger pond like this, it could be a little bit more difficult. What I really have to focus on is this area over here. So that is my intake bay with my pump housing here, and you see all of these plants here, which aren't not normally a problem. That water hyacinth is not a problem at all. It actually acts as a pre-filter before my intake bay for any of the gunk, and the plants really suck all that up, so it's not a bad situation to have. We had such a bad windstorm the other day that a lot of debris blew into this pond. I tried to fish some of it out of there right away, but a lot of it didn't get out and sunk now to the bottom of the pond. I can get that out later, that's not a problem. That's not helping anything for sure, but it's not going to really hurt too much, not like the ash that's landing on top of the pond. But because I have all that plant here, it makes it difficult for surface tension to pull the ash off and filter it through the upper filtration system up here. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that out so that I can get good flow of water through to that intake bay. The air quality here is still very bad, so I'm going to go ahead and wear a mask. Normally I would just jump straight into the pond and walk over to these plants and pull them out. But since the fish are already under so much stress, I don't want to kick a bunch of stuff up and stress them out even more. So I'm going to go ahead and carefully from the edge of the pond pull these plants out. I do have some ponds up in front, some smaller pools that I can go ahead and put some of these plants in. I have not put these hyacinth plants in those front pools yet, so this is a good time to do so. I also can put some of these plants up in the filtration system up top above this pond. So I still have a use for these plants. just want to show the flowing of this water. You can see really what that has done is it's allowed the surface tension, allowed that free flow of the top of the water, which really brings all the crud off the top and hopefully away before it really starts sinking. I've got to keep an eye on this so to make sure that this plant life doesn't continue to pull back over there. It might. If it does, I just pull more out. No problems. It's pretty tricky to breathe out here right now, so I'm going to put these plants in the pools and get inside. Additionally, I have done some water changes to the pond, so the water levels are doing much better and they should return back to complete normal in a short amount of time. I just have to really watch carefully because I'm really concerned about my fish at the moment. So hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, hit the like, subscribe. I got more pond videos coming. Thanks and see you soon.